Everybody, happy Monday. Not in my usual background. I'm at the Jersey Shore for Labor Day. But today's Manifesting Monday. We're starting every Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know how many people are going to pop on today because it is Labor Day, but we still have to get our day and our week started with amazingness. Hi to everybody that's coming in. So this is going to be my norm. I'm going to be here every Monday at 9:30. I haven't decided if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday mornings yet to continue. So we're going to continue with Project 369. I'm going to do other books, have excerpts from other books too, but Project 369 is what I am doing right now. Joe, what's up? Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Hopefully everybody had a really great weekend, last weekend of the summer. Crazy. But we have to get our Monday started out right, and that is the key to wealth, abundance, and prosperity, as well as happiness. And I was thinking this morning, the two main things, at least that's what I've seen, the two main things that people want in life are love and abundance, right? But along with that comes the happiness piece. And people say, I will be happy if I have love. I will be happy if I have that relationship. I'll be happy if I have that car. I'll be happy if I have this much money. I'll be happy if I have a big family. But what most people don't realize is that you have to have those feelings before you have the other things. Not because you'll be happy if you have this. That means that you're lacking on the inside. So if you have the lack mentality and lack mindset, like we always talk about, you're not going to be able to bring in the things that you want if you're coming from a place of lack. Well, oh my God, I'll be so happy if I have this perfect relationship. We're doing Manifesting Mondays with Ronald.
Hey, how you doing? I'm going to manifest a 62 today at the golf course, and I'll see you later.
There we go. There's Ronald.
Atlantic City Country Club.
That's where he'll be. Hitting golf balls. Yes, all about frequency. So that's one of the most important things is to remember is that you have to have the feeling on the inside before you get it. You can't say, well, I'll be so happy if I have this marriage. I'll be so happy if I buy this house. Well, then you're coming from lack. That means you don't have. So how could the universe give you something that you don't already possess inside yourself? Because if you look at your consciousness or your subconscious mind, in the book I was just reading, it says that your subconscious is 95% in the driver's seat, right? So then look at your life. If your subconscious mind is what projects your reality, then what is your subconscious mind saying? What does your life look like? Do you have the things that you want? Or do you continue to manifest the things that you don't want because that's what's running the subconscious mind? So it's super important to pay attention to that. And if you can, write it down. Like, what are your dominating thoughts? And we talked about this last week, what your dominating thoughts are, because whatever your dominating thoughts are what's going to be projected out into your reality, right? And then that's what your reality is going to look like, is whatever are your dominant thoughts. The name of the book is Project 369, The Key to Wealth, Abundance, and Prosperity. I'm reading it backwards, but yes. Can someone write that down so that I can pin that again? I think Joe did it for me last week. But we're going to switch books up, but just right now there's a lot of really good stuff in here. I want to read some Joseph Murphy stuff. There's some Neville Goddard stuff. Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, they're both like super, like, not hard to understand, but just requires more thinking than I like this is very simplified, which is why I like it. I would be happy if I had a Krystal teeny in my life. I manifested that I'll win while playing golf the other day. Joe, I'm so happy for you. Okay, thank you, Joe, for doing that. I'll pin that. So we're going to talk about mutual benefit today, right? My hair is really crazy. It's been up all weekend, and now this is just what it looks like. Looks like I've been at the beach for 6 years. I've never washed it. So there's no such thing as something for nothing, Dr. Joseph Murphy. The only way to live a prosperous and abundant life is to provide a product or service that is mutually beneficial in terms of value you provide and the compensation you receive. It's not to say that you should stress yourself out or overthink this process, but it is fairly easy to do. Mutual beneficial ideas will naturally and effortlessly be attracted to you, not because you have to force yourself to think of the ideas, but because you have risen in consciousness and tune your frequency to your desired station. Okay, so at this current moment, there are an infinite number of ways to attract money and a life of thrive and abundance, right? It's all a matter of how much money you believe you can make, which comes back to the value you believe you can provide, mutual benefit. It all comes back to the value you believe you can provide. So this is a really big one, because there's many people that will come on my page and say, like, you're trying to make money and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that. All these people come from a lack mindset, right? It has nothing to do with making money and everything to do for me with healing people. I've been a healer my whole life. I've healed people and given my energy to people my entire life. I have healing energy. People would always, random strangers would just come to me and just tell me their entire life story. Okay, for example, last week I was walking Leo, my sister's neighborhood. Some lady's going, hey, and like, I didn't think she was talking to me. I don't know the people in her neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah. She was like, where are you going all dressed up? You look so good. I was like, oh my God, thank you. You know, we had a nice conversation, and she was telling me her whole life story. I went on a date today and it just didn't go good. You know, like, I got divorced and my husband left me, and started telling me her entire life story. So she said, you know, I was a bodybuilder, and this lady's in her 60s. She's like, I was a bodybuilder. Look at this hair. It's starting to dreadlock. She was like, I was a bodybuilder, and, you know, I dated this guy that was into fitness and all this stuff, and he was super interested in me. And then all of a sudden, you know, the date didn't go well and whatever. And I said, bye. My brother's down there breaking balls as usual. So I said to her, I said, well, you know, just because you have things in common doesn't mean that you're attracting the right type of guy. So I said to her, I was like, just say, thank you, universe, for giving me the perfect man in my life. I have the most amazing relationship, and he's absolutely perfect for me. And she was like, I need you in my life. She was like, oh my God, you just made my day. She's like, that's really great. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say it all the time. I said, well, you manifested someone that is into all the things that you're into, but he's also, like, not a nice person. There was a couple other things that she told me about him I don't even remember. And I was like, so you manifested this, but you weren't specific enough. So I'm, like, going over this with this woman, and Jen's calling my phone. She's like, I've just cooked dinner. Where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm talking to your neighbor, or whatever her name was. And she's like, let's go. So this lady, you know, you randomly meet people. And like I said, like, when you have healing energy and you heal your whole life, like, this is just what you want to dedicate yourself to. So going back to the money aspect of it, is there's a lot of people with lack mentality that don't like to see other people find ways of making money. And when it comes to your skill set and your skill level, things that you acquired over your lifetime period and that you worked really hard for, people don't believe, because you have a social media for whatever reason, that you should make money from it. And it's like, well, where do you buy most of your products from? How many advertisements do you see of huge corporations that you will buy from? But the person whose account you follow, the person whose account that you look up to, they offer you a service, and you believe that, oh, you're just trying to make money. Well, yeah. How do you think people are going to make a living in life? It's by making money. And just because you don't like the way that someone chooses to make money, don't throw your shit on somebody else. That's you coming from a lack mentality, and you are jealous of a person because they find ways of making money. I've found ways to make money my whole life. I had almost a full scholarship to my university as a dancer. I literally had to pay like less than $1,000 a quarter, or whatever it is, semester, for my college, because I worked my ass off to do what I do, right? But every skill that I have in life I've acquired, I've worked hard for. So the fact that people think that you shouldn't be compensated for the skills that you provide is coming from a lack mentality, because I don't go to work every day. No, I'm my own boss, and I created the lifestyle that I have. And that's why I encourage, and I do all this with you guys, is just so that we have a space to talk about this, because I know that a lot of people are like, I just don't like the way that my life is. I don't want to have to go to a job. I don't want to tell somebody, oh, I'm going to go on my lunch break. Like, I don't have a boss. I am my own boss. And there's people out there with that lack mentality that don't like it. And that doesn't matter, because I'm not here for anybody to like whatever I do. I'm here to make my own decisions, and I'm here to be a boss bitch, just like you guys. And it just gets difficult because there is so much lack mentality, and people don't understand abundance and think that because you want to make money, or because you know how to make money, that comes from a place of evil or greed. Now, with that being said, I want to read some of these comments. With that being said, there are a lot of influencers, And they're mostly men. I haven't seen that many women, but I could be wrong about this, but even in the freedom movement, like men that have become really successful with their businesses, and that's great for them, but they are so flashy and they throw it in your face. So that's one thing to like have abundance, be abundant, but it's another thing to throw it in people's faces and then be a cocky asshole. Like, that's different. And whatever, you make your money however you make your money, but be kind to people. Offer people something that they can't get anywhere else. Not everybody has the skill sets that each of us have, right? We all have different skill sets, but teach people. Teach people. We need alpha males, obviously. We need alpha males in this world, but it's all in the way that you present yourself. When you're arrogant and you're a narcissist and you are alpha at the same time, that's a deadly combination that nobody wants to get mixed up with. And you can tell right off the bat who these people are by the way that they speak to their audience, by the content that they provide, and that they're always right and this and that. That's different. This is not the mindset that I'm talking about abundance. That is not an abundant mindset. That is a narcissistic, egotistical mindset. And that's what we want to break free from. Be humble, exactly. Love being my own boss for 50 years. Many can't think outside the box. Americans have a strange way of thinking about money. You're right about that. Love this mindset, and I too love being my own boss. People don't know the amount of work that goes into being an entrepreneur. And it's so true. The amount of ideas that I've had in this head and the things that I've tried and the way that they've failed. I'm an artist, right? So I can create anything. I could look at something, you could show me something, I can literally just make it. I've designed clothes, I've created clothes. I used to take my brother's t-shirts that I really liked. I was like, oh, I love this, from his closet. And I had a sewing machine, and I would literally make it into a dress or a two-piece outfit. And he'd be like, is that my fucking t-shirt? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no. And so when you can create and you're an artist and you can literally do anything and create anything, it's hard to also have the business mindset. So that's a big piece of my puzzle that I'm working on now, is having the business mindset. I don't want to do all the paperwork. I don't want to do the numbers. Like, people come to me with math, and like, I'm not the one. So you can ask somebody else. But so I have Julie that I work with. She produces my show, and she does all the things that I don't want to do. And that's a huge help for me. So when you can't figure out something on your own, you have to ask other people for help. You have to ask people that have the experience to do it. And I've learned that because I'm a one-stop shop. When I was on films, people would hire me. I would do the choreography, I would do the hair and makeup, I would do the wardrobe styling, and I would act in things. Like, I would do everything. I have the skills to do that, but I don't have the business side. Like, I am business savvy, but to the point where I can really grow something huge and larger. Some people just have that business mindset. So I'm working on manifesting skills or people to help me with that. Artists here, easier to create than sell. Exactly. The phone's and necklace, synergyscience.com. And I think it's synergyscience.com / it's in my bio, actually, because it'll give you a discount in my bio. Talk nothing less than common sense and look nothing than the best. When I visited other countries, I realized that America is very rich in some ways, but very poor in others. We can be those people you manifest. And that's true. Like, we have a great community of people here that love to talk about the same things and love to create our own realities. So that is the truth. There are so many people just in this comment section that have incredible skill sets where together we can create an empire ourselves. That's why I think it's so important to show up and to have a certain day that we do this together, so that it's like we can get to know one another in the comment section, because there's so many people that need different things and we're not aware of what each person does. So if you want to right now, just put whatever skill you have in the comment section, just so people know the type of people that are in here and if they might in fact need your services for something. I think we can use that. Then I'm going to post this live. When I post the live, just put in the comment section what you do for a living, because you don't know who's going to need you for what. I think that's very important. If you believe you cannot make a lot of money in this world, ask yourself, what skills or experience can I use to my advantage? Do I have any expertise that can make me money? So, at some point in my life, when I was younger, so I've worked in my life first as a dancer professionally. Out of high school, I was hired as a professional dancer, and I danced professionally for 100 years after that. Then I got into acting. Then I got into hair and makeup. Kind of. So when I danced I danced for the Sixers for 5 years. I did all the makeup for 16 girls every single game, plus danced in the, at the games. I helped designing costumes. So this is when I was 18, 19 years old. Got into acting. Then after that, I always did choreography. Then did hair and makeup. I would do it for proms, some weddings, but then I started to do it for TV and film. And at the same time, I got into wardrobe design or costuming. I costumed to film a kids musical, and did that for a while. So people would either hire me in front of or behind the camera. So I had all these skills and like, well, what can I do with them? How can I make money? And when people hired me as an actress, I'm like, oh, maybe one day they needed we need somebody to do like makeup for this or that. I'm like, all right, I got you. I taught myself how to do special effects makeup, which was really fun. I love to do bruises and cuts and all kinds of stuff like that. So I utilized the skills that I had and I turned it into making money. There's so many incredible makeup artists out there that just do things as a skill and they're just like, oh, it's just a fun hobby or whatever. Dancing as a choreographer, always got hired for that kind of stuff. Then I got certified for yoga, started making money with that. So I just always use my skills. How can I use my skills? Where can I show up? And of course in Hollywood, a lot of times, they want you to work for nothing. Like, oh, do it for trade. You do it for the exposure. So work this 20-day shoot. You get paid nothing. You get food and credits. That's how LA works a lot of times. And there's so many people that will do it because they want to work with certain people. They want to work with this one or that one. And that's how you become kind of known, because once somebody sees your skill set, then you're just like, oh, okay, this person's amazing. They forward you to someone else or refer you to somebody else rather. And then before you know it, you're making money and you're doing what you like to do. And it's the same thing for anyone that has a skill. What skill? I didn't join the union because I did too many things. If I would have joined the hair and makeup union, I never commit to anything. That's a big thing. So with LifeWave, the company, the patch company, this is the first thing that I am willing to commit to. And I am non-committal in everything that I do. So this is also part of my journey with manifesting, is being committed to something, staying with it long enough to see whether you will fly or whether you will sink your ship. So I'm giving this enough time and putting enough effort into it and being serious. Not that I wasn't serious about other things, but I had so many different skills that I could do whatever I wanted. So for me to join a union and then have to only be able to do that, that's like prison to me. I like to be able to do a lot of different things. But what is that saying? What's the saying about skills? Something of many and then master of nothing or something like that. I know one of you guys know this. Okay, yes. Human trafficking, child trafficking, absolutely. Guys, that's something that you can commit yourself to if that's what your passion is. Commit yourself to that. There are certain things that I'm not going to talk about it on here, so I'm not even going to get into that. Thank you. Jack of all trades, master of none. So let's just say that again. Jack of all trades, master of none. But that's not the entirety. There's more to it. But it's true, when you do so many things and you don't really focus on one, you can be a jack of all trades. I've been that way my whole life. And I've been a master of most of them. But not to the point where I committed to it and where it has made me all the abundance and success that I truly want. So that's a good one. If you have tried and failed, but you genuinely enjoy progressing with a certain skill, don't quit developing it, because you never know when you're going to need it. That's why I said here, with all the things that are going completely sideways in the world right now, What are your skills and how are you sharpening those skills so that you might need them? If we had a collapse of civilization in whatever way that was, and you lived in a community, what skills are you going to be able to offer to someone that you can help your community? Well, I'm a painter, I know how to do this, or I know how to fix cars, whatever it is, I know how to plant gardens. Those skills are so important. So don't stop progressing those skills because you haven't gotten the success that you wanted. Leave it as a skill set that you have and a skill set that you practice, but put your main focus on something that you feel will benefit you the most. Seek what inspires you and do what you love to do. And that has been my whole life. I've never been, not never, but any job that I took after I was a professional dancer right out of high school was something that I wanted to do. There weren't any jobs that I had to take because I didn't have money. I always created incomes for myself when I was a kid. I was just like, okay, I figured out how to budget my money as a dancer. And obviously you guys know dancers do not make any money. But that's how I made my living. So I'm like, what else can I do to make money? Because I want to do what I love doing. But I'm not going to take some stupid job that I don't like. My mind, I had such a hard head that it was just like, it's not an option. So that was one of my ways of manifesting, is that like, it's not an option for me to take a job that I hate. I'm only going to do jobs that I love. So I attracted those jobs to me because I refused mentally and consciously and subconsciously that I wasn't going to do shit that I didn't want to do. You know, people go to their job every day, like, I fucking hate my life. Like, I hate this. I'm so depressed. This job's taking the life out of me. You know, I'm sick all the time. I never had to do that, thank God. Because I refused to. I refused to in my mind. To clarify, the earth is going through a transition and your vibration will determine your path. That's what Beck said. So it's so strange because we are going through something really crazy. And Dolores Cannon, I was listening to one of her videos, you guys, when I saw it yesterday. And she was saying, like, this is the first time in human history that something about, like, the entire world is going through a shift at the same time. And I don't exactly remember, but I was like, that's pretty incredible that we're all literally, everything is being uncovered. Everything that has been under a rock or in darkness is coming to light, right? And that includes our own personal selves. Every part of darkness that is in our bodies is being reflected to us either by the people that are coming into our lives or the events that are taking place are making us see the dark sides that we don't want to look at. So a lot of people are going through crazy transitions. Like, there's so many people that are just like talking about relationships, like, oh, I can't find anybody. And, you know, well, that's one, that's mindset. But two, so many people are going through so many shifts that it's hard to find that level of compatibility because everyone is kind of pushing through and out of their shell in a lot of ways. And I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to what I'm saying with this. We're here for such a time as this. So many cut me off. So that's the other thing too. All the people that are leaving your life, all the people that don't agree with the things that you say. And a lot of it is because of our belief system. A lot of it is because we see through everything that's going on. Hi, Bubby Luz.
I'm assuming you're manifesting Monday.
Do you want to say anything inspirational?
No. Tell them I'm going to be on next week.
Jen's standing here. Jen's
That's
going to be
right
on
now.
next week with do Manifesting Mondays, but we're down the shore and it's just like chaotic down here when we're down here. So Jen's going to come on with me next week. She's what have you been studying?
Been studying Neville Goddard, of course. He's my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
We've been reading him. There's a book called Your Impersonal Life. It's so beautiful. It's literally like God speaking through this guy, Joseph Bennett, I think his name is. Joseph Brenner, something like that. But it's called The Impersonal Life, and it's absolutely beautiful. It talks about how everything is impersonal. We think our personalities and everything make us individual, but we're all part of each other. And when you have a thought or an angry thought or a judgmental thought about someone else, if you perceive someone as enemies, your subconscious mind does not know the difference if you're talking about yourself or someone else. So it always comes back to you.
So
When you have thoughts about other people and you perceive people as enemies, you have angry thoughts, you have judgmental thoughts about them, you gossip, your mind doesn't know that it's about somebody else. It thinks it's about you because it's your mind.
So do you get that?
It's
How that
impersonal.
reflects?
Your mind is impersonal. So it's not, it reflects, exactly. It reflects.
So all of a sudden, all these shitty things are happening in your life because you were talking about somebody, you were gossiping about somebody, or you're sending hate to somebody else, and all these bad things then start to come into your life because your subconscious mind doesn't know good or bad. It doesn't know evil, whatever.
It's like just drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. You poison yourself with all these thoughts and words and deeds and actions even. Some people take action against it, against other people. Yeah.
95% of what we do is unconscious. That's what someone says.
Mm-hmm. You're impressing your mind, though. You're impressing your mind with your thoughts at all times. Your subconscious
someone said that's
mind.
incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
And someone said that's the same as visualization. It is the same as your visualization. It doesn't matter if your visualization is good or bad. That's what you're going to get. So if you're visualizing, I hate this person, and this person's an asshole, and I'm going to show them, and all this other stuff, and you're acting in your ego, and then you're literally programming your subconscious mind, well, how do you know that your subconscious mind isn't going to reflect that back to you? And that's going to be your reality, because that's what it is. You can't, like, think bad about somebody and think, like, or talk shit about people and think that good things are going to then come to you. When you're always bitter, when you're always worried about other people, and you're always in your ego, and when you're always a jealous person, or you always like look at what someone else has and why don't I have this? That's the lack mentality, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you'd like to contribute today?
No.
Okay,
That's the end of your broadcasting.
Okay. Jen will be back next week. And we'll figure out what we want to do. Half hour. What time is it? Yeah. So we're going to do 30-minute sessions. Sometimes we'll go a little bit longer, but we have to get out of here and drive home. Bobby lose. As an outlined in Obsessive Passion, which we did last week, your journey will provide you with many desires, but it is your duty to realize the ones you love the most. Your desires come from your state of consciousness. In other words, your desires come from the frequency you're in and the station you're tuned into. Let's read that again. Your desires come from your state of consciousness. Your desires come from the frequency you're in and the station you're tuned to. So let's just talk about this for a second. Your desires come from wherever your state of consciousness is in. So if your state of consciousness is in, let's see, like if you're addicted to porn and you watch porn all the time, if that's where your state of consciousness is, what do you think you're lacking in your life? Especially if you have a partner, wife, husband, whatever. You're probably lacking in love. You probably have an emptiness inside of you that you have not addressed. Mostly, I always go back to the emptiness inside you. When you can't get enough of something. And maybe you have a wonderful partner, but you just are empty on the inside. That is, your desire comes from your state of consciousness. So if that's where your state of consciousness is, that's lack. You're coming from a lack mentality. You need more, you need more, you need more, which means you don't have enough, you don't have enough, you don't have enough. Right? What desires, whatever desires you have, is where your state of consciousness is. Okay. If you're in a frequency of wealth, your desires will be money related or business related. Right. If you're in a frequency of wealth, your desires will be money or business related. You always have that business mind. You're like, oh, cool. I can make money this way, this way, this way. I have this idea. Just as you have different desires, you will also have many plans and business ideas. If a plan fails, just know you will have another plan. And you can use a developed skill set you've obtained in your so-called failed plan to work to benefit in your new plan. Wolf, I don't know how to say your whole name, but she says, think like a child. And that is so true. Like we talked about last week. The book that I'm reading from is pinned down here, guys. So if you want that book, yes. Think like a child. Children don't have any limitation to their imagination. We talked about this last week. They can, in their mind, they can perceive anything. And it's real to them. That's literally what manifesting is having no limitation. You're riding a dragon one day, and you're walking around as a unicorn the next. The imagination doesn't have any limitations. We give it limitations. And once we give limitations and parameters around what our mind can think can happen, then we limit. If you have a limitless mindset, you'll be able to manifest anything. How do I get a limitless mindset? You have to work on the limiting beliefs that you have. And we talk about this too. If you have those limiting beliefs, I'll never have this. Oh, that's too expensive. I'll never be able to afford that. This girl, she'll never love me. Like, oh, she's too good for me. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not worthy. Right? When we start to pay attention to those thoughts and how much they run us, that's the only way that we can start to change them, by canceling out the thoughts, reprogramming the subconscious mind during your sleep. Listen to reprogramming the subconscious mind audios while you sleep. Not in earbuds, not in headphones. Just put it next to your bed, or not next to your bed, 6 feet away from your bed, and let it play. Even if someone is in bed with you, it's beneficial for them too. I can guarantee you that. My horses keep me connected to my child within. Mare, you're so lucky to have the horses. Joe rode a unicorn yesterday. Tigger says wolf. It's pure when it comes from the heart. I'm pretty tired navigating this time while supporting my kids, so this is really supportive. And that's what we want to create. If you notice the comment section, like, people are very supportive of one another, and that's important for us during this time, is to have a little bit of support somewhere, wherever we can get it. And I think doing this on Monday mornings, just to get your week started, even though today is a holiday and over here, it's important for us to show up for one another. If we say we're going to be here at 9:30 on Mondays, or whatever time it is locally for you, let's show up and get here, because it's very important to have that consistency and to be able to provide support for people that might need it. So there's 9 rules for a prosperous life. Let's just go over rule number 1, and then we'll be done for today. And I will do, would you guys want Wednesdays, or I think Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday? Does anybody have an opinion about that? There's not an app I recommend for affirmations, but I just always go on stupid YouTube, and there's so many amazing manifestation coaches, and they'll give you like different affirmations and stuff, but it's really ultimately like what you want. And so if you're going by affirmations, okay, so let's just say you go into YouTube and you want affirmations for love. Type in affirmations for love, and there will be an audio that you can listen to on loop for 8 hours if you're going to sleep, or like an hour session, or maybe there's a 20-minute meditation that will do all those affirmations with you. There's, you want to do affirmations for, clearing emotional energy. Good. There's affirmations you want for wealth. Look that up. They're all very easily accessible. And if we don't take advantage of them, like, we're just wasting our time. How many people are sitting there wasting their time on Instagram, scrolling away, or Facebook, or any of these stupid apps that take away our attention from things? How you can be utilizing that time for something that's going to be truly beneficial for you. Someone saying Bill Donahue on YouTube. Do Wednesday. If something comes up, do Thursday. Okay. But I want to have a schedule. So Monday, Wednesday, I think would be good. Of course, there's Monday, Thursday too. Astral projection. So, it's not even that I tried to astral project. Like, I know that I have, but I didn't even know that it was astral projection. So it wasn't something I tried to do. Like, I actually have. I did a session with someone that I did astral projection, and I think I did one, like, and I was talking to my grandmother. I have to think about that one, and I'll get back to you on that. So guys, here, people are putting plenty of really good, audio things, suggestions. So let's just do rule number 1 for a prosperous life. Rule number 1, being is the first-hand cause of all things you do in your life. You are what you are. Therefore, you do what you do. If you didn't believe you are who you are now, you wouldn't be doing what you're currently doing. Once you obtain the naturalness of being that person who is living in the end of whatever their vision is, you won't need to try hard to do anything, for the naturalness of being will effortlessly do the work for you. Your subconscious mind is 95% of your life. Let it do the work it has always done. But, it says, your subconscious mind is 95% of your life. Let it do the work it has always done. But my thing is, if you let it do the work it has always done, you're going to manifest the things that you don't really want. So you have to put your subconscious mind on a leash, or that shit's going to run wild. And you're going to manifest a life based on being on autopilot, based on the thoughts and subconscious feelings that you've had on a loop since you were a child and whatever programs you had. So in order for your subconscious mind to work for you instead of you working for it, basically, is to rewire the subconscious mind. And again, we do it through subconscious reprogramming, which is your YouTube audios, or canceling out the bad thoughts that you have. And once you do that, you're going to start to see that your mind is going to shift, and those thoughts are going to be less. They're still going to creep up, but then you automatically cancel them out. Oh, you can't afford, before you can even say the whole word, I can't afford this, thank you, universe, for providing me with everything I could ever want. Canceled out, done. Right? I have not listened to you for a long time, and today I chose to join you, and you allow the divine speak through me. Okay, so it is a journal at the end of it, so I'll show it to you guys, and it's pinned. This book is pinned at the bottom, but it does turn into a journal. So it has a quote that says, others believe in me because I believe in myself. My thoughts materialize. Therefore, I think thoughts that will bring me abundance, love, happiness, and joy. I take my attention away from anything in disharmony to my vision. I focus my attention on my desires. I am positive, loving, and prosperous being. Then you do your 9 affirmations. And then the question is, why do I deserve a wealthy life? How do I feel knowing that I am prosperous? How do I visualize myself living an abundant life? So that's part of the journal. That's pretty amazing. So I love you guys. Joe, I love you. So I'll be here on Wednesday. So we'll do Monday and Wednesdays for now. Monday, Wednesdays, 9:30. And I think it'll be wonderful. So I love you guys so much. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Yes. If I didn't have to run right now, I would stay on for a little bit longer and do like 40, 45 minutes. But we got to get on the road. Love you guys lots. And I will see you, who knows when. Tonight, tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday morning. So I'll see you guys Wednesday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you all. Love you, Joe. Adios.